guys, this is IntroducingEmy and we're back with another Redline Tuesday. This one was sent to us by Verticonics or VertIconIX .deviantart.com or .tumblr.com. I can't remember now which one. I'll put the link down below. And this was a transparent ping and I just put a color back there to make it so not transparent. Alright, so let's get started here. Real quick before we really dive in, I just, for funsies, I went ahead and rendered a model using DesignDoll that's in a similar position, though the shoulders and the hands, they're not exact. I didn't spend a ton of time getting it. But what I wanted to show was that there's sort of this flattening going on here. One second. So if you can see that the character's legs are kind of shifted over. And this was the best I could come up with and get everything to look like it was kind of touching and still in that same pose. But like I said, the shoulders are kind of off. The field of view I had to crank way down to 10. I normally try to keep the field of view between 25 and 45. It looks a little better actually on 25 field of view, but DesignDoll, I highly recommend it. It's a Japanese program, but it's been translated into English. I don't remember the link to it, but if you Google DesignDoll, it's pretty much the only thing that comes up. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out real quick, and I guess this is kind of our frame of reference. We want to bring these, I'm assuming the legs, you want more not doing that. You want them more brought forward. So we're going to try to replicate that in our drawing, and I'm not even going to bother saving the model, but that's kind of what it was looking like. And yeah, we'll just kind of keep that around for now. I'm not going to go ham though. I am going to flip it though. I didn't do that when I normally like to flip my drawings back and forth, but I didn't do that this time. So let's stop. Start with the hips, and then we'll work out from there. I just wanted to point out real quick that DesignDoll, the base doll can be edited. I didn't bother doing that for this one just because I'm not that good of a person. No, I just didn't want to spend a whole lot of time editing the doll. But you can make it, more male or female, or give him muscles or not muscles or whatever. So now we've got a torso that looks like a little potato sackum. There's the belly button, and then you've got your crotch, and then your butt cheeks. And then the clavicle and a simple neck. So now here comes the part where we're going to kind of figure out the legs. So what I would do here, and what I will do here, this is going to be our torso layer, so I'm just going to write torso. What I would do here is, let's get a different color, like an orangey. And I would kind of frame out the, how would I say this? I would kind of there we go. Because we want the legs to be kind of same length apart, because her arm, so if we're drawing the front of the character, her arms are coming straight out. These are not boobs. These are arms with the bone. This is the chest. There, those will be the boob pec area. Okay, so the arms are coming straight out. This arm here is kind of maybe going just slightly at an angle, and then the other arm is crossing over. And from the top, it's like a square. You've got your shoulders, your arms come out. This is like the chest, neck, and then this arm's like bent over. Bent over. Okay, so that means we want the legs to be coming up square and maybe like tilted in slightly. It looks like a weird alien. Everything looks like an alien to me. I just did a tutorial not too long ago, and I drew up like just a random like blob, and I was like, it looks like an alien flower. Okay, so anyway, so let's that will be kind of our under sketch for that. So this is a knee, this is a knee, and then so the legs kind of you want them to be together. So this is going to be our midline. We're going to come out here. And this will be approximately where the feet cross. But I guess maybe pulled in a little bit more. So like that. Just taking them a little closer to the body. I'll just do some blobbins there for the feet. Thing I'm a little worried about is making the legs too long. Or not long enough. I tend to draw like kind of squashed characters anyway. My anatomy is not very elongated. Sorry. Don't draw a beautiful, like, life anime figure. It's so funny because I always worry that my art is too pretty. It's not gritty, it's not real enough. So this is very scratchy, and I apologize, but I'm just kind of like roughing out. By the way, thank you for sending your art in to be Redline Tuesday. I've been getting pretty consistent submissions. Okay, let's go back to the torso layer and just keep working off of that, and hopefully it doesn't get too muddled and confused. You know what? No, let's I don't trust myself. Let's go one layer above it and work from there. So let's do the first leg here. Help if I had an appropriate eraser tool. Or I should say an appropriate eraser brush. We have the tool. I just didn't have the right brush set up. I try to get all my brushes like prepped before I start doing Redline Tuesdays so that I'm not like fuddling around in my my menus, but I still end up having to go and like select things and set stuff back up. I need to make like a preset, like a Photoshop preset that just like preps my workspace for my red lines. Okay. Hold on. These lines are upsetting and far too wobbly for my taste. Let's knock the correction up to 15. I know. You're out there yelling at me that it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't care. This is how you learn. You get in there and you redo work that you are unsatisfied with. I don't know who it was who told me that no piece is ever completed. You know, that it's always... You should always constantly be trying to, like, go back and rework stuff and, like, find new ways to make old art better and things like that. And I know there's, like, folks out there who are just like, about that, but I completely agree. The great masters used to revisit their anime porn daily. No. But no, it's true. Like, lots of artists, you know, centuries past, that was considered appropriate, is that you would just, like, revisit similar landscapes and go back to your paintings and do, like, a million sketches and prep work and da-da-da-da-da. But these days, these youngins, you're lucky to get, like, one flippin' thumbnail out. No, I'm getting pretty grumpy for no reason. Alright, let's do our tricep into our bicep. Then I was a little nervous here. I still am not, like, super great at doing the forearm muscles. I should see if, like, a local college is offering anatomy art classes. That was my favorite class in college. Where we learned... It was basically anatomy for artists, and there was 2 different sections of the course. There was one semester you could take full body, which is what I took, and then the next semester you could take head and hands, which I think it covered feet as well, but it basically got into like all you did was study the anatomy artistically of the head and hands. So there's a finger, there's a finger, there's a finger, there's a finger. Okay, that's like our knuckles. This is our little mitt. So the way I do thumbs, and thumbs are a mystery of the universe, and I still, like, have my issues with thumbs, but so thumbs are like the rest of your fingers. They have 3 joints. So, like, you would have a normal, you know, your fingers, like, joint, or not joints, 3 sections. Well, 3 joints if you count, like, at the knuckles. So there's your finger, you know. There's a thing doing a finger. So then the thumb has, like, a large pad, kind of. These great anatomy terms. I don't have a chart or anything pulled up, so you're just gonna have to go with me here. So it has, like, a large pad, and at the bottom of the hand it's kind of like an upside down heart. It's like 2 pads, and one of those big pads is for your thumb. So out of this pad comes a small barrel-shaped joint. Let me get a better eraser here so I can clean this up. Kind of like a cone with the top cut off. And then out of that comes your thumb meat. Which, depending on how cartoony you want to get, you can just do like that. In anime, I see very thin thumbs a lot. Like that. But from the side, the thumb kind of looks like a pear sort of a shape. Like that. So there's your slightly wedged barrel. I shouldn't say wedge. It's a cone with like the top cut off. So then depending on like how much you erase in here, you get like an overlap. See that? See how this line causes the overlap of that? So here, let's have this be like, you know, when I put these videos up, I really should take the time to like timestamp, like put a timestamp guide in the bottom that says like, you know, at so-and-so minutes and 30 seconds, I talk about the thumb for 2 hours and, you know, stuff like that. I don't know if that, I need help doing that though. I don't know. I'm still like a YouTube formatting baby, so these fingers are already pretty well drawn, so I'm not going to get into them in too much detail. Just kind of going to blob them in there. This should be like a little bit more of a... Need a better eraser. Yeah, there we go. That should be a little more of like a wedge or... Man, I'm really stuck on that word today. Not a wedge, but like a harsher angle, I guess. Like that. Okay. So then, what am I doing here? Things are getting a little nutty here. Let's fade some of this stuff. So those are the knees. Okay, so let's do like this. And this is probably going to end up mostly covered, so we'll just fade that as well. Let's fade the torso. I don't like to completely erase it because I'm worried you guys might want to like be able to look through slightly and be able to see like kind of the base of what I was doing before. So let's do like that for now. Get some of this stuff in here. Okay, let's put that all together. Perf. It's not really. Okay. So let's bring this shoulder up. Oh, and another little just thing here. I would just, rather than having like the ring finger and the pinky finger kind of going off one way and then the index and the middle finger, so I had to like look at my own finger. I'm trying to do it and it kind of hurts. I wouldn't do that. Just, it's not that big of a deal though. I mean, do as you will do, but I would recommend hold on. I'm getting all distracted here by this. There we go. I would just recommend keeping the fingers together like that. Now let's draw through to figure out where. So your thumb would probably be down there, but then let's we draw through so that we can figure out where the wrist is, and then that will kind of like lead us back into our foreshortened arm. Okay? And I just vocal fried that out, lead us back into our foreshortened arm. There we go. Like that. Perf. I can just kind of fade this. Also, I feel kind of bad that all my stuff's always like so sketchy and rough, but I'm not here to like ink your shoes. I'm here to kind of find a netto maze. I don't think I did this joint correctly here, but I'm not really sure. Like, it's not going to be like this, because then it's sort of, nah, I don't know, maybe I'm close, but just like that maybe is a little more. It's probably something in that ballpark. Something like that. And the face, like I said, is pretty fine. I don't feel the need to like harp on that. I'm gonna get rid of these sketches. Rewind the video to go back in time and look at those thumbs again if you need to. Now, I realize that this sort of tightens the character up. Let me, So I realize this, like, kind of does some weird things here. First of all, you lose these 1, 2, 3 bits of negative space. And depending on, like, what you were going for, you may have wanted to keep those. I still feel like maybe I didn't shift these legs around enough and they were kind of off. Get rid of that yellow so it's not so distracting. I'm having thinks. I'm having deep thinks. I think one of the issues is, this is also my first drawing for the day. If you can't tell, this is why I'm just sitting here viewing it. I think maybe something that's throwing me off is the way the hips are rotated or something. Like maybe this shouldn't be so far out. Like this all needs to be like foreshortened in here a little more. Something to that effect. I think it's pretty good though. You know, like I said, I'm not gonna get really like harped on this one just because I feel like there's some really good stuff going on here that I don't really need to mess with too much. Also, sorry for the... I should always prep these episodes by saying there is flashing near the end because I'm flipping back and forth to... Yeah, no, I definitely think this is better, because even just looking at the computer model I threw together, it forces the knees back up and around. So I think this is more of like where you want to be headed, which was basically like the knees were kind of going this way, like sort of rocking down and away, and you want them to rock like back this way so that her arms are squared up on them. I think here I'm still having issues because I feel like I didn't draw this arm correctly. That's what it comes down to. Let me see if I can do a quickie repair here, and then I'm gonna call it just because I don't want to. I kind of like feel guilty if I'm just like stuck on a drawing and just going and going and going, and I don't want somebody to be like, wow, I'm that bad, which that is not it at all. Like, oh, she needs to keep going. And also I don't want people being like, hey man, you spent 17 hours on this dude's drawing and you spent like 2 seconds on mine. Am I not worthy? Wink. By the way, if you've never seen me do this, I do this all the time, where I come in and I like rope off areas with a color that I need to fix. A lot of times, like if I'm working on something and I'm like, well, I'm tired, I'm going to bed, I'll make a new layer and set it to screen, and then I'll just throw colors on areas that I'm like, in the morning, come back and fix this, Emmy of the future. Do not forget. So, yeah. I think that's good. I'm going to call that for now. That'll be this week's Redline Tuesday. There should be a tutorial going up tomorrow or later today if I'm feeling extremely generous. It's nothing much. It was asked for. I hate when my brush does that. It kind of like blobs. Yeah, so I'm sorry I didn't go over the face. All I can say is maybe like bring this eye down a little more. It's like maybe slightly out of a line. Again, these are minor things that I'm just like nitpicking. Because you're worth it. So let me go back out and just do one last flippy flip. Yeah, I think that's like getting more into the ballpark of what I want. This elbow still looks like... Just one last. That's it. Okay, done. We're done. So let me think, oops. Let me think Verticon, Verticon IX, or Verticonics, or Verticonics, or something to that effect while I do a stretch here. And keep sending your Redline Tuesdays with the subject Redline Tuesday and your attached file on an email to emy.bittner@introducingemy.com. And you can find all that information down below. Alright, I will see you guys next time. Bye!